How do I put an iPad on silent?
Stream's just starting now.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, curling fans, and welcome inside the Innovation Credit Union iPlex in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. You're watching the World Curling Tour on curlingzone.com. And this Saturday morning, we are bringing you quarterfinal action on the women's side of the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. And it's an all-international battle today between Satsuki Fujisawa of Hokkaido, Japan, taking on Corrie Huerlimann of Zug, Switzerland. I'm Josh Usick, joined alongside by my broadcast partner, James Owens. It's great to be here calling this game for you guys today. Four games on the ice this morning.
Sorry, I just wanted to apologize to everybody about the delay in the stream, but looks like we're thrown right into the fire already in Skip Rocks.
Yeah, starting off hot and heavy here. This is Corrie Huerlimann in the hack here. We'll run through a quick meet the teams at the top of the second end and continue bringing you this game. Thanks to everyone who's in here watching. Already up to 431 viewers. Shout out to everyone watching from the great country of Japan. Corrie Huerlimann's going to nick that yellow guard and leave the Fujisawa rink a chance to get in there for a big score of 3 in the first end. I believe it is a little past midnight in Japan. So thanks to all our dedicated Japanese curling fans who came in to watch. We expect to have a great game with lots of viewers. And the fans in the chat are going to be happy about this one. A deuce at least, pretty locked up for this Fujisawa team. They're going to try and get in there for third point here.
That'd be a huge start for the Fujisawa rink.
Can't ask to start a playoff game any better than that.
Yeah, and especially because the women's playoff works out so that they would have to play back-to-back, whichever teams make it to the finals. So a hot start, possibly early handshakes if they can keep this momentum going. Don't want to start anything too early saying that this game's going to be over fast, but it's always nice to get up early.
Goes a long way. Skip rocks in the first end. This is Satsuki Fujisawa, the skip from Hokkaido, Japan. Looking to make it into the 4-foot. Both 3/4 maybe full inside the 4. Gets her a 3 spot to open this game. He's running in nicely. He's going to have to slow down. And it will do just that. A 3 spot on the board for Satsuki Fujisawa to open up this game. The Huerlimann rink will have the hammer when we return, down by 3 at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at letterlands.com.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Welcome back inside the Innovation Credit Union iPlex in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. You're watching the women's quarterfinal draw of the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. My name is Josh Huzik. I'm alongside on the call with James Owens. We're going to take you through a quick meet the teams here in the second end. As the Japanese rank out of Hokkaido, Japan, Satsuki Fujisawa, was able to take a 3 spot in the opening end. So let's go ahead and meet the teams. Throwing the yellow rocks out of Kitami, Japan on the island of Hokkaido, it's Satsuki Fujisawa. Her lead is Yurika Yoshida. Second is Yumi Suzuki. The third is Chinami Yoshida. And of course the skip is Satsuki Fujisawa. They currently sit number 10 in the world in the World Curling Tour rankings. And on the other side of her, throwing the red rocks out of Zug, Switzerland, it's the Corrie Huerlimann team. Her lead is Marina Lorcher. Her second is Sarah Mueller. Her third is Celine Schwisbel. And the skip is, of course, Corrie Huerlimann. They are currently sitting number 31 in the World Curling Tour rankings for women. The great part about having a dedicated chat here, almost over 600 people watching now, is if I pronounce anybody's name wrong, someone is sure to correct me in the chat. So here's the Fujisawa team looking to come right around that yellow top 8, top 12-ish. It's about half to 3/4 buried. But the Huerlimann team seems to believe she can still get to it. No, my mistake. She's going to draw underneath the corner guard she set up there for herself.
I'd just like to mention that, kind of touching back on what I was saying before, the women's playoffs, quarters, semis, and finals are all today on Sunday. So on our sheet, of course, we have Fujisawa taking on Huerlimann. The other matchups are Julian Campbell taking on Kayla Skurlik. Unjun Kim taking on Unji Gim. Silvana Tiranzoni taking on Isabella Rana.
I was corrected just a few short days ago calling the Unji Kim team that GIM is pronounced the same way as KIM in Korean.
Oh.
So that game is quite literally Kim versus Kim. And it's Kim going now to a 4-0 lead over there, over Kim. Run-of-the-mill peel from the Fujisawa team, up 3, not taking any chances here in the second end. Content to try and kind of keep any momentum from coming back to the Huerlimann team. This is the second for the team out of Zug, Switzerland. It's Sarah Mueller. Going to look to drop this as a center guard. Sweepers seem to be laying off it and might be a little bit deeper than they want it. They come down to it now. And it'll sit well above the rings there. Satsuki, almost no decision there needed to be made. It's a quick decision to rip it away. And the peel is made, no problem. Over 700 viewers on Curling Zone YouTube channel now. As we play the second end. Team Fujisawa up by 3. I believe this is the replacement of that same corner guard here. Playing a bit of cat and mouse here. Seeing who's going to break first.
Yeah, Huerlimann will keep taking their chances, hoping they can get a miss out of the Fujisawa team, but it should be a pretty conventional second end for the Fujisawa team. Just peel every guard in sight, hit anything if it leaks into the rings. Keep it clean while you're up 3 and there's not a lot of junk up there.
100%, and that's exactly what you'll see the skip from Hokkaido do. Another peel coming up here. This one coming from the Japanese third, Chinami Yoshida, and her final rock of the second end. No problem with that one. Get rid of it and roll out across the top of the rings. And now is when Corrie Huerlimann will decide to make a play on the stone sitting shot rock in the rings. The lone rock in the rings right now. Satsuki Fujisawa is holding an undefeated record so far to this point in the event. Went 4-0 in her group, beating Kayla Skurlik, Tabitha Peterson, Michelle Yagi, and Robin Silvernagel. Wow, what happened there, James? I took my eyes off the game for a second.
I think just got some over curl, and the Fujisawa team is going to have a real opportunity to take advantage of that mistake.
Wow. Bit of a slow start for the Swiss rink this morning. They're going to have to play catch-up for sure if they want to have some hope of advancing to the semifinal.
Well, depending on where Fujisawa puts this one, it looks like they want to put this one in the rings so that they don't accidentally put up a guard for Huerlimann So if this one's placed correctly, Huerlimann will have to throw the run back. Or the run back double.
Agreed. Satsuki Fujisawa is well familiar with the city of Swift Current. She has her only medal at a World Women's Curling Championship, won in this city in 2016. It was a silver medal with a loss to Chelsea Carey in the gold medal game. So she's been in and around Swift Current. Sure has some fond memories and would sure like to make some new ones if she can go all the way here in the Western Showdown. And it looks like Fujisawa was content to split the rings here. Are you surprised by this call at all, James?
A little bit. You know, you put one top 12, it forces the run back double, and if they accidentally jam it, then you draw right around there. But I guess it leaves the exact same shot. So split the rings here, try to make a tough double, get your force for sure.
Is the Fujisawa team ever worried about the freeze if they throw maybe a top 12 guard covering that yellow? Huerlimann could freeze to that yellow behind
Yeah, that's
cover.
a good point.
Huerlimann
freeze on that one top button under a guard would be extremely tough for Fujisawa. Although they would be running in their own color, it's not a risk you really need to take when you're up 3-0.
Yeah, as we've seen all end, the Fujisawa team does not feel the need to mix anything up, especially with the chance to get a for sure force here putting this rock out on the outturn wing. She'll be content to force the Huerlimann team to 1 and get her hammer back up 2 starting the third end.
I don't think there's ever a double there.
No, that was about as flat as you could make those 2 rocks, I'll tell you that much.
Huerlimann's still looking at the freeze, though.
Corrie Huerlimann had to come through the play-in round in the women's playoffs last night. They finished pool play 3-1. Good enough for a bottom 4 seed entering the playoffs, and was forced to play a play-in game to get into this quarterfinal. And they ended up defeating Amber Holland of Chrono, Saskatchewan by a score of 7-2, which was a rematch of their game they played in group play, which was a 10-0 win for Amber Holland. So a bit of a revenge play by the Huerlimann rink there to get them into this quarterfinal game. And this is the first rock from the skip out of Zug. Looking for the freeze here. Sweepers don't seem terribly anxious to sweep it yet. Line's close, but she looks well heavy and is going to bump it quite a bit there.
The main thing there was just being shot rock, so although it would have been nice to freeze, staying shot rock forces Fujisawa to make a hit on that red, and Huerlimann will just throw the open hit right back to get their single.
But there's not going to be a lot of tolerance on Corrie Huerlimann's last with 2 yellows in the forefoot.
No, we'll have to see where the shooter ends up to determine how
It looked like
precise
the
that
Fujisawa
shot's
team
going to
just
be.
called to nose it.
Little bit of discussion at the other end there, but I think they're still going to go with the nose hit.
So here it is. Final rock, second end for Satsuki Fujisawa. Up 3 without hammer here. Playing the nose hit to force Corrie Huerlimann into a shot only for her single. Tracking nicely, maybe curling a touch more than they want. Just about on nose. Gonna leave it right there. And this is going to leave a bit of a tough shot for the Huerlimann team here.
Not easy at all. Looks like they're going to call a hit and roll, try to roll towards the button on that back one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible to hit the top one on nose and stay for shot. It's definitely close.
No, I'd almost be looking at the triple here, but I don't know if hitting this back one keeps them high enough to be shot rock, if they need to roll a little bit inside.
I think that's your Saskatchewan hit happy brain talking to you there.
Oh, you betcha.
Either way, Corrie Huerlimann, last rock in the second, trying to make a bit of a tough shot here to score her single and bring this game back within 2. Curling now. She'll make contact and spill out of the forefoot completely. It'll be a steal of 1 for the Fujisawa team. Now a 4-0 lead. Corrie Huerlimann will retain hammer when we return from the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough? Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea?
Great idea. Let's talk more about next year.
I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Welcome back inside the Innovation Credit Union iPlex, Swift Current, Saskatchewan. You're watching the World Curling Tour on curlingzone.com. And the quarterfinal draw of the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. Josh Usick on the call alongside my broadcast partner James Owens. It was a steal of 1 for the Fujisawa team in the second end. They now lead it 4-0. Come out to a hot start here in this quarterfinal game. And they're looking to keep their undefeated record intact. James, why don't you walk us through what happened in that second end?
Yeah, I think Huerlimann just had a little trouble setting up that end, and Fujisawa made a few great shots to really clean things up as they were up 3. It looked like Rana couldn't really get anything going, and then had that open hit on her first skip rock and just grazed it, leaving the Fujisawa rock in the forefoot. Fujisawa split. Huerlimann went for the freeze, missed it. Fujisawa had the open hit, and Huerlimann had a really tough hit and stick roll towards the button for 1, and it ended up being a steal of 1 for Fujisawa. So they're up 4-0 now, and they'll continue their game plan of just keep it clean, try to keep that 4-0 lead.
Yeah, when you have a lead, have a team come out to a lead this early, you tend to see some boring curling on their side, just trying to hit everything they can out of sight, keep the other team from scoring multiple points. If they can regain the hammer without giving up more than 2, that's more or less a victory for the Fujisawa team. Almost at 800 viewers watching on Curling Zone's YouTube channel. I'm sure a large quantity of them Japanese, cheering on their team Fujisawa here. Huerlimann tried to come around the center guard there, just off center, I guess. Couldn't get it buried, and Fujisawa will be content to get rid of that and get rid of that corner guard as well. They'll be able to put that in the spot where it's not easy to get underneath that corner guard for the Huerlimann team and sit shot rock, kind of cutting off the use of that corner guard a little bit. This is the Japanese second, Yumi Suzuki. Trying to make this hit and roll undercover. They're on the sweep early. This one's curling a lot. Jam at the back and stick around, biting on the edge of the 12-foot. And if you're Corrie Huerlimann, that's as big of an opening as you've had so far in this game. You're going to try and take full advantage of that.
Yeah, being down 4-0, Huerlimann will take any break they can get to try and get back in this game, and that could end up being huge in this end.
Yeah, just a bit of a half shot, and you got to take advantage of those. This is the second now for the team out of Zug, Switzerland. It's Sarah Mueller. She's going to wreck on the guard, tap that yellow out of the rings, and sit just in the 12-foot there. Bit of a lucky shot from the Huerlimann team there. Kiss, kiss, and sit on the wings. They're sitting 2 now.
They're pretty fortunate that they stay in the 12-foot there. So should force the Fujisawa ring to hit, and then they might have another opportunity to come around that corner guard.
Yeah, Fujisawa took a look at the draw behind that yellow guard on the outturn side there, but ultimately took a look back at the scoreboard and decided against it. Don't want to take any risks here and let Huerlimann back in the game at all. Hit comes down. It's going to roll a touch in just past that red corner guard, fully available to the Huerlimann team if they'd like to hit, and they do seem content to do just that. Maybe a bit of a softer weight shot with the ice she's given here. Watch for this one to take off. They have a couple times on this Huerlimann team so far today. This is Sarah Mueller with her last in the third end. Trying to make the roll underneath the corner guard for sure, but she's not going to do that. If anything, rolls a bit more inside. And Satsuki will be content to roll back over to the outturn side. There's a catcher in the back 12 there, and they can also get buried behind that yellow corner guard.
Always a lot nicer to be behind your own guard.
That's true. This is Chinami Yoshida, the third for this team from Hokkaido. And this team's on it early. As it's taken off, they're going to make the audible, try and go behind the red corner guard, I believe. And it will get maybe a piece buried, not most of it though. Leave it mostly accessible for this Huerlimann team to get there. A bit of a discussion now.
Well, it looks like they should have about half a rock from the hack on this shot. So depending on the height of that guard, they might be able to still come around their own corner guard on this one.
And the way the ice has been moving this week, you get a lot of curl late. You could see this one happening here for the Huerlimann team. So here it is. Definitely a softer weight shot.
Really got to put the curl on here.
She's going to catch a piece of it, push it out to the 12-foot, but not quite out of the rings. And that's close to see who's sitting shot rock. You got any leanings here, James?
I have no clue, but Fujisawa will elect to hit the red anyway, so they can for sure sit 2, possibly 3 if that top one's biting. Really take control of this end.
And it will be the hit, the open hit for Tsunami Yoshida. And she'll make the hit and leave the rings. Do you think Corrie Huerlimann will play aggressive here? Being down by 4, and she will.
I assume that top rock to the 12-foot must be biting then. Otherwise, I wouldn't be surprised to see Huerlimann possibly go for the blank here.
I'd lean towards it being biting. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, guards in front of the rings, you know, with a... Even if the only counter is that one on the edge of the 12-foot there, I think Huerlimann might be content to play an aggressive game here.
Yeah, I think you have to. You don't have unlimited ends to work with, so if you got 3 rocks left, that means you can still put up 3 points.
That's very true. This is the third from the team out of Zug, Switzerland. And this is coming up on that yellow guard very quickly. And they'll slow off, try to avoid knocking that yellow into the rings for sure, if it's not already. That'll leave Satsuki Fujisawa with the opportunity to come right around those double guards now and put some more pressure on this Huerlimann team that there has been no absence of so far in this quarterfinal draw.
Yeah, Fujisawa will jump all over this opportunity to try and steal here. Get it behind those 2 corner guards. There's not really an easy draw to the pin for Huerlimann if she has to throw the draw on her last.
Up over 900 viewers watching on Curling Zone's YouTube channel now. I'd like to thank everybody who chose to stop by and watch this game with us. Fujisawa trying to make a come around those 2 guards just above the rings. And put some pressure on the Swiss Corrie Huerlimann as we approach her skips rocks coming up next. This rock's really got a curl and doesn't have the weight to do it. It's going to get in there, sit for shot rock. It's yellow sitting either 2 or 3.
Corner guard must have been kicked a little bit on the sweep by.
I believe so. This draw is made a little tougher now with the addition of that rock in the top 12. Corrie Huerlimann will be taking it on anyway.
Yeah, definitely not an easy path here to try and get through past that corner guard and then past that tight yellow rock in a 12-foot. And this path has fooled both teams now 2 shots in a row, one for Huerlimann and one for Fujisawa.
Taking an abundance of ice to make sure they get around that rock just thrown by Satsuki Fujisawa. No matter where Huerlimann puts this rock, though, you wonder if the run back is already in the back of Fujisawa's mind. A little bit of discussion from the front end to the skipper on the other end of the sheet as she stands in the hack.
And that might be what they're talking about, is they don't want to leave the short run back for Fujisawa. Looks like the front end want to go around that long corner.
There's not a ton of places you can put this rock where it won't be accessible to the Fujisawa team.
No, I can understand going to the edge of the 8-foot there under their own corner. It leaves, I would say, a tougher shot for Fujisawa, having to throw probably a hack weight or a backline type of weight on, which seems like ice that both teams have kind of struggled with in the first couple ends.
Yeah, and even if it is made, it leaves you an easier shot for your single on your last, more than likely, rather than if you bring this one, say, top 4 or top tee underneath that yellow just thrown by Fujisawa, and she decides to just run it straight back and sit shot rock there. It's an international affair in the playoff round of the women's side of the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. We have 2 Swiss teams in the playoff round, 2 Canadian teams, 2 Korean teams, 1 Swedish team, and 1 Japanese team, that being our feature game here, Satsuki Fujisawa. They've elected to take the wide outturn draw around these corner guards on the outturn side. Little interesting.
Yeah, definitely not an easy path. Probably no one's been out this far. Probably a lot of frost out there. A little bit of a guess on the weight coming out of the hack here, but you really nice to get around 2 corner guards there or make that short angle run a little bit more difficult for Fujisawa.
Yeah, this would leave the angle run being a little bit more difficult for the Japanese team. Looks like it's sliding a little bit heavy. This is Chinami Yoshida to sweep it back. Sorry, that is Satsuki Fujisawa. Taking it all the way back. Just barely hangs on the edge of the 12. I believe it is second shot. So it is Fujisawa only sitting the 1. But it does leave an opening for the Japanese rink to get into the 4-foot undercover and force another really tough shot out of Corrie Huerlimann.
Looks like they're talking about the tap. I love that call. I think that path to draw behind that one in the 12-foot is just too difficult, and throwing the tap there, even if you leave the run back double, it's still only a single for Huerlimann.
So Fujisawa's last rock is on tap here. As we just surpass over 1,000 viewers on youtube.com/curlingzone. So here's the final rock in the 3rd end from the skip from Hokkaido. Trying to tap this shot rock back into the 4-foot possibly and sit in front for cover. This is Yoshida and Suzuki on the sweep. Needs to curl a little bit. Starts to now, won't make the curl as much as they'd like. Knock it back, grab a piece of that forefoot there and sit for shot rock with cover in front.
It's a great shot.
And Corrie Huerlimann will have a decision to make on her last rock. Seems she's quite content to draw the side of the forefoot there to grab her single. And whether this is made or not the outcome wanted from the Swiss team in this end. Down by 4 early, you definitely needed a score of multiple points here, and Fujisawa's done a good job of suffocating this team, not allowing them to generate much offense at all.
This is a very difficult draw for even just the one.
Yeah, you could throw perfect weight and still overcurl on this line and not get to shot rock.
Almost a perfect shot by Fujisawa. It looked like they were a little nervous, not getting enough curl there, but came up just enough in the perfect weight with the angle to keep it top 4. No port between those two yellows, just in the perfect spot.
Well, I think with the angle that they hit it, they definitely have a conversation to have about whether it's yellow sitting 2 right now. I didn't get a clear look at it for sure. It's definitely in the question. Either way, last rock, third end, Corrie Huerlimann out of Zug, Switzerland. Going to draw the side of the forefoot and sit down for a single point. And like I said, perfect weight thrown. Just didn't have the line. It'll be a steal of 1 once again for Satsuki Fujisawa. Corrie Huerlimann's goose egg remains on the board. It'll be 5-0 for the Japanese team. Huerlimann retains hammer when we come back in the 4th.
I've been farming on my own right for 40 years now, I think. It's a very wholesome enterprise. You have very, very busy periods when you have to go hard. So many of our windows are so tight that you just can't afford to miss a couple days of seeding.
When a producer places their trust in us, that when it's time for them to be able to make their living, we're going to be there. That's a tremendous responsibility that is not a one-day-a-year thing, right? In order to actually deliver on that, you have to build your processes and you have to build your team and you have to have a mindset of operational excellence, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And it's our job to make sure that they don't go wrong. Or if they do go wrong, then we can fix it before it affects our customer.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
Welcome back to Swift Current, Saskatchewan. You're watching the quarterfinal draw of the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. It is a 5-0 lead for Satsuki Fujisawa of Hokkaido, Japan. She leads the Swiss team of Corrie Huerlimann. And it's been an absence of offense being able to be generated by the Huerlimann team so far this morning. And back-to-back steals, along with a 3 spot in the first end, gives Fujisawa this 5-0 lead as we enter the fourth. James, do you want to walk us through that third end and what happened there?
Yeah, I think Huerlimann just had a lot of tough luck with kind of the line and with a couple of hit and rolls, which led to a pretty simple end for the Fujisawa team. A light draw from the Huerlimann third left the steal opportunity on the table for Fujisawa. So Fujisawa came up a little light. Then Huerlimann took a chance to get around 2 corner guards. Fujisawa ended up tapping up her own. And Huerlimann on her last was forced with almost an impossible draw for her single and ended up giving Fujisawa the steal of 1.
Yeah, like I was saying on the broadcast, I wasn't even sure if that shot was there.
No, I don't know if it ever was either. It's really, really tough shot with the curl and through that port. Would have needed to grab something on the ice to redirect it to get it back on the forefoot.
Absolutely. And this second corner guard from the Huerlimann team ends up slipping into the 8-foot there. And Yumi Suzuki will be content to get rid of it, as that might be a lot of the game we're seeing for the rest of the draw today in this game at least. Fujisawa up by 5. Doesn't want to let Huerlimann get anything building up on the wings. Any mistakes like that corner guard falling into the rings is no doubt going to be a takeout coming from the Fujisawa team, sorry.
And Fujisawa being up 5 here. I think they're okay with Huerlimann putting one behind the corner. They'll just peel the corner, take away all the cover, and try to clean up everything afterwards.
No doubt. We might see a little bit of a cat and mouse game replacing the corner guard. If this one can get behind it, looks like it's sliding a little heavy. And that one will slip right through the back of the rings. Took an extra look at it to see if it stuck around, but I don't think it did. And here comes the peel from Yumi Suzuki. Maybe a little bit of frustration building up with the Huerlimann team there. A couple tough misses, dropping that corner guard in the rings and then throwing that one straight through the house. Uncharacteristic and obviously not the game this team was hoping to have this morning. Of course, this Huerlimann team did just play at 9 p.m. last night and then had to wake up and play at 9 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, I've been there. It's never easy.
No, a tough thing to do. Either way, they hoped they would have come out with a little more fire this morning.
Yeah, definitely not the start they were looking for. A little unlucky. Still having a little trouble figuring out the ice. It's fooled both teams a couple times this game, but still seems to be in favor of Fujisawa.
And I think at this point, you're just trying to get rid of the hammer if you're Corrie Huerlimann for sure. You prefer to do it with a score of multiple. But the setup they have here now isn't helping them much. They're going to try and push a couple yellows to the back house. Not going to turn out. Fujisawa now sits shot rock in the forefoot. And they'll be able to get rid of that red shooter from the last shot there by Huerlimann. Try to avoid the jam, but if they can make this perfect, they'll roll perfectly covering that shot rock in the forefoot yellow. This is Chinami Yoshida now. Needs to curl up a little bit more for this Japanese team. They'll jam right on the back on that red counter. It looks like it's still Fujisawa sitting 4, I believe. But it will leave Huerlimann the chance to get under these yellows in the top house, as she'll be content to use anything she can as cover at this point.
Yeah, the fortunate thing about Fujisawa hitting all the Huerlimann rocks is that for Huerlimann, Fujisawa stuck around, so it's left her a little bit of cover there for in the 8-foot for a possible multiple scoring end.
That's very true, and the way they are staggered a little bit doesn't leave an obvious run back opportunity. The one on the far left, possibly, from my broadcast angle. But it would be most likely an angle run. Rocks in play is what the Huerlimann teams needs more than anything, and that's what they've got. The challenge now is to get some of their color buried underneath. Looking for a delicate hit and roll just underneath those yellows, covering the 8-foot. This one's going to need to curl if she's going to make the roll. And she's just going to bonk it right on the nose and sit right there. As Fujisawa will have the chance to make the roll now if she prefers. Missed opportunity there from
really
Huerlimann.
looking at cutting off the lifelines for Huerlimann here.
Yeah, that was a big shot, and you know, in a game when you're down by this much early, you have some shots where you have a chance to get one buried and sort of begin to build your multiple point score, and it just hasn't been working out for the Huerlimann team so far today. And that shot was a little bit indicative of how their game's gone so far, as Fujisawa is going to come right back and make the roll under. Not the best spot. There's still room to get underneath there. It's a big jumble of rocks, and it's going to be tough to run anything back in that jumble. So you wonder if Huerlimann will just take the out-turn draw around all of it. But she seems to be looking at some of these yellows in the front. What are you seeing them looking at, James?
Oh, I think they might be deliberating over whether they want to try their chances at the blank here. You know, it's not looking super great for them. I think Fujisawa is still sitting 4, so you got 3 red rocks left. Try to clean something up here, possibly get a blank, and you know, you put up a 3 in the 5th end, you're right back in it.
I think the blank look might be a little bit of a long shot at this point, but they seem to be looking to get rid of some of these yellows. Don't want to use them as cover any longer. Maybe they don't believe in their chances getting around that jumble in front of the house there with that last rock just thrown by Yoshida. This is the final 3rd rock throwing for the Huerlimann team.
Not 100% sure what the call is here, but even just moving around these yellows a bit to leave some backing would not be so bad for the Huerlimann rink.
It looks like she'll get rid of 3 and leave 1 yellow sitting on the side of the button.
Pretty decent outcome there for them, actually.
Not bad at all. You wonder if Fujisawa team will be content to guard this, or if they look to kill some more red. It looks like Fujisawa's choice is to get rid of another red. No need to risk giving up a multiple point score when you have the chance for an open force here. Not to mention that shot rock yellow.
Right on the nose here for Fujisawa. There's no double for Huerlimann.
And not to mention that shot rock yellow on the button now is partially covered by that red. Probably cutting off the hit and roll underneath that corner guard there. So no chance of getting under cover unless a really perfect shot was made. This one's tracking outside a bit, needs to curl up just a touch. It will sit right on the nose. And it's Fujisawa sitting 2 as Corrie Huerlimann prepares to throw her last rock. Looks like they might try to just bump this yellow shot rock back a couple inches and sit shot themselves.
Well, I shouldn't say there's no double. There is a very thin double on those two yellows still in the rings, but looks like the freeze here.
Yeah, this is how you create your two if you're Corrie Huerlimann, and no chance really of a blank at this point in the end. That really thin double I don't think is anything they're privy to taking on at this point in the game. Coming at the top of the fifth, then we'll take you around the rings and check out the scores from all 4 games on the ice so far in this draw from the women's quarterfinals. So here's Corrie Huerlimann's first in the 4th end. They're trying to get this one to curl. It looks like it might be tracking heavy a little bit. Hoping to make contact at least with that shot rock yellow. They're going to miss it by about a foot. And right through the rings is Corrie Huerlimann.
Yeah, the tough luck just seems to continue for this Huerlimann team early on this Sunday morning.
Wow.
So another
Disappointing there.
opportunity for Fujisawa to really put on the gas here.
Yeah, I mean, this is... If they can cover up this yellow to a point where there's no hit for the score, it's about as tough as of a draw you can give Corrie Huerlimann, and following a draw where she just tossed it straight through the rings. You gotta think a steal is probably most people's predictions here. So here's Fujisawa making her way down the ice for her last in the 4th end. Just trying to guard this, no doubt. How deep is she trying to come here, James?
Not too far. I think the main thing here is just to cover the line, but getting anywhere between a tight guard and fighting the top 12 is pretty nice. No farther into the 12-foot than the one that's in the back 12 there.
So we'll see it here. Satsuki Fujisawa up by 5 without hammer here in the 4th. Looking to guard this shot rock and force a real tough shot out of Corrie Huerlimann on her last.
Rock seems to be hanging out there a bit.
It's starting to curl now, same as we've seen all week. Late curl. It's going to cover up, leave no available port to get to that shot rock yellow. And if Huerlimann wants to score 1, it's most likely going to be the draw, unless she wants to run back that top red there.
I think the run back is easier than the draw here.
You might be right on that one, James.
Run, and if you want to draw, the only thing available to you is a piece of the button.
The difference with that one is that a miss there is almost certainly handshakes. Giving up a 2 or a 3 possibly in this end is most definitely conceding the game here. But that will be the call from Corrie Huerlimann. She'll make her way down the sheet. And it'll be a slight angle run, about 6 feet, onto the shot rock, sitting on the button for her single
I think she's
point.
playing the right amount of weight at this. It looks like with the ice, they're only calling about half weight. So with contact on their own red, they should still, even if they miss that one in the 4-foot, still stick around somewhere in the 8-foot to only give up a steal of 1. But hopefully, Huerlimann can bounce back here and make this one.
So here it is, last rock, 4th end for the skip out of Zug, Switzerland. It's Corrie Huerlimann looking for the short run back on a shot rock for a single point to get on the board. This rock needs to start curling. And it's not going to move enough for them. It's going to be a steal of 1 for Satsuki Fujisawa. And a 6-0 lead as we hit recess in this women's quarterfinal matchup. Corrie Huerlimann will retain hammer once again as we hit the 5th end.
I've got the bill.
Well, now I've got the tip.
Standard tip increased 2% this year.
That's why I keep you around. So, corn's looking great.
Well, our crop plan is working.
And we locked in that input financing at the perfect time.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough? Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea?
Great idea. Let's talk more about next year.
I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
Welcome back inside the Innovation Credit Union iPlex in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. You're watching the World Curling Tour on curlingzone.com. And the women's quarterfinal draw of the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. It is currently a 6-0 lead. Satsuki Fujisawa holds over the head of Corrie Huerlimann of Zug, Switzerland. It was another steal of 1 in the 4th for Fujisawa. Looking for a corner tick here, I believe. And she's going to make it, jamming it right on her rock in the 12-foot. We're going to do a quick round the rings check at the 3 other women's games on the ice right now and check out the scores. Jolene Campbell currently leads Kayla Skurlik of Calgary, Alberta. That game is 4-2 after 4 ends of play. It will be the Skurlik team with hammer in the 5th end. In the Battle of Korea, it's a 5-2 lead for Eunjun Kim. She leads Eunji Kim of Wyeongbo, Korea. 5-2 after 4, and it will be the Eunji Kim team with hammer in the 5th. And our final women's quarterfinal, it's Silvana Tiranzoni holding a 5-4 lead over Isabella Rana of Sundbyberg, Sweden. And it will be the Rana team with hammer as they play the 5th end. Now back to our feature sheet. Still a goose egg on the board for Corrie Huerlimann. James, do you want to walk us through that 4th end and what happened there? Anyway, You're looking at Fujisawa sitting 2 here. It was a bit of a slow start to the end for Corrie Huerlimann in the 4th, dropping a corner guard into the rings that was available to be hit by Fujisawa, and then throwing a couple draws through the house completely in that end. Ended up having a short angle run back on Huerlimann's last to score her single. She ended up missing and getting a little lucky in the back of the house, jamming on one of Fujisawa's rocks in the back 12, meaning that she only gave up a steal of 1, but still trails by 6 now as we enter the back half of this game. And Fujisawa is not going to let this Swiss team get anything going here, as she's going to hit every red she can in sight.
Sorry about that, Josh. My mic was muted.
Wonderful. Either way, we're a team. I took over for you on that front.
No, wonderfully said. Wonderfully said.
There'll be a hit here and leave the rings from the Fujisawa rink. What's the mindset of this Corrie Huerlimann team now, going into the back half of the game down by 6, James?
Hopefully get some luck here. Take any chances you can get. Just keep loading up rocks in the rings. I think you throw everything on the table here. You only got 4 ends left to work with to put up at least 6 against this very highly skilled, highly ranked Japanese team. Yeah, just pedal to the floor and throw every rock you got into the rings.
Outscoring these Japanese team in 4 ends by 6 is a big ask, especially with them ranked number 10 in the world currently. Number 1 ranked team in the country of Japan. Hence the amount of Japanese viewers we have, sitting just under 1,000 viewers in the live stream right now. It's a little past 1 a.m. in Japan, I believe. This Fujisawa rink curling out of Hokkaido, Japan. Kitami, rather, on the island of Hokkaido.
I'd also like to shout out our Swiss viewers. It's about 5:30 p.m. in Switzerland. So good evening to everybody watching from Switzerland.
If you are in the chat, let me know how I'm pronouncing Corrie Huerlimann. Am I doing all right on that front? It is still Fujisawa sitting 2, and the Huerlimann team looking to come around that second shot rock in the top 12. If she can catch curl late, she might be able to get underneath the red corner more rather than the yellow sitting top 12, but looking to find anything to hide behind at this point in the game. Hit 3rd rocks in the 5th end here. This one needs some help to get to the rings. Look like it's a little bit light. No, it's going to get by that yellow guard, and it looks perfect. Needs to curl a little bit up at the end. And it will. Might be dead buried from the hack. But it is back T, and the Fujisawa team will be content to come right to it. Maybe bump it back a touch is the call. This is Chinami Yoshida.
If it wasn't for that red corner guard, I think Fujisawa would be looking at that run back, but there's just not quite enough space to get by.
Yeah, you'd need to hit just a touch on the intern side of that rock to be able to make it. I'm not sure you can get there with that red corner sitting there. You're right about that.
Not too sure the distances from this angle, but kind of surprised they're not looking at the double peel.
Yeah, this team has seemed eager to get rid of red in sight at any point all game, really since the first end when they dropped the 3. They haven't been too concerned about the guards all game, really, they've been concerning themselves with stopping what's in the house first and foremost. But she'll reside back to her original call, which is maybe just the tap freeze here. So here's the final rock from Shinami Yoshida.
Pounding this one the whole way down.
Yeah, it looks like it needs the brush to get there as well. Getting close to that top yellow guard, and it's not going to get by it. And if there was ever a bigger opening for Corrie Huerlimann in this game, I don't remember it.
As I said earlier, jump over any chance you can get, and this is definitely that chance. A couple of staggered yellows up top, and you just drew one around there, get another one behind there, and looking at a multiple score, possibly getting back into this game.
Yeah, this would be a huge shot for the Huerlimann team at this point. Draw's made a little bit tougher now, but there is definitely more cover over top of that red shot rock sitting at the back four now. Final third stone in this fifth end of play. And here it comes, looking to draw right back underneath those yellows sitting on the corner there. And sit two reds. And she's going to get by. And I don't think that's good enough for second shot.
No, I think it's just a little short, and they rubbed off a bit and might have left the double there.
And that's sort of the game we've seen so far today. There's been no absence of chances for this Huerlimann team, but the capitalization hasn't been there at the right times. And it's going to leave Fujisawa with the chance for this slash double, I believe. She's trying to make this over the top. And this would really just deflate this Swiss team. Fujisawa, no doubt, looking for handshakes here. So here it is, first rock for Satsuki Fujisawa in the fifth end. Looking to make two reds go away here. Needs to curl up a little bit more than it is. And she's going to make it perfect.
What a shot.
Wow.
Still a chance for two here.
Yeah, it's important where in a game where you might have seen Corrie Huerlimann's emotions being down early, getting to her on her shots previously. It's important she settles in and doesn't let the effects of that last made double from Fujisawa team get to her while she tries to put this one under cover. There's still definitely a chance for a deuce here from the Corrie Huerlimann team.
Sink one here, get a miss out of Fujisawa, sink another one, get two down 6-2 with 3 ends to play still. If you get lucky, you could get a bunch of steals in there. You could see this one go into an extra for both these teams.
Step one is make this draw Corrie Huerlimann's first rock here in the fifth end out of Zug, Switzerland. Sweepers with a very light clean early on this. Now on it, trying to get it to curl. Needs to get under cover there. And she's going to sit maybe a little over half buried.
I think that
and
should
it looks
be
like
fully
it's
buried
to the
from the
back
half.
four. Yeah, you might be right on that, actually, James.
Not quite. Looks like 3/4 buried, though. Not an easy shot for Fujisawa to remove this rock.
Well, I don't think she's trying to remove it. I think the call is just to sit on top, maybe tap it back a touch. No fear from Fujisawa giving up a single here. I don't think that keeps the game going too much longer for the Huerlimann team with only a single point here. If Fujisawa can get the force, she'd be happy. So here it is, last rock from Satsuki Fujisawa in the 5th end. Looking to cut down the scoring area. Line needs to curl quite a bit here. It looks like she might be... No, weight looks perfect. Just going to sit right on the corner of that shot rock. Beautiful throw from Fujisawa. 100% end, no doubt from her. And it's going to leave Corrie Huerlimann the chance to come right down on top and score her single. Get that goose egg off the board. And we'll see how this game continues following that.
There's a lot of tough luck for the Huerlimann team today. I think it's really tough to lock it in mentally for playing the night draw and then coming in this morning. So it's unfortunate to see them miss a few draws and a couple hit and rolls in some key situations that left them to fall behind in this game.
So here it is, last rock, 5th end, Corrie Huerlimann from Switzerland, looking to score her point here and get on the board in the 5th end. Starting to curl nice. And this will no doubt sit on top of that yellow. And it'll be a score of 1 for Corrie Huerlimann. It'll be a 6-1 lead now for Satsuki Fujisawa. As we enter the 6th end at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
SwiftCurrent is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
So it was handshakes from the Corrie Huerlimann team here after 5 ends of play. make the final 6-1. Satsuki Fujisawa will advance to the semifinals here at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. And Corrie Huerlimann will finish with a quarterfinal appearance. And it'll be Fujisawa back on at 12:30 Saskatchewan time, taking on the winner of Jolene Campbell and Kayla Skurlik in the women's semifinals. We'll be back at 12:30 with the semifinal draw. Thanks for tuning in. I've been Josh Usick alongside my broadcast partner James Owens. On behalf of CurlingZone.com, we'll see you again at 12:30 p.m. Saskatchewan time.